everybody, welcome back to Cignals Trading Academy. This is lesson number 15, and today we're going to discuss trade management, something that was widely requested over the past few weeks, so I wanted to touch on it today. You didn't miss anything last week because I didn't do a video. I was sick with COVID, and I'm just starting to feel better this week, so I'll most likely do 2 videos this week. Make sure if you're not subscribed to go ahead and subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up, guys. It really helps us out quite a bit, and we greatly appreciate it. So a lot of people in Discord and on YouTube asking, some more advanced questions about, not leaving money on the table, just basically alluding to, hey, we pretty much know how to enter trades. But what do you do when you're in a situation where you feel like you're leaving money on the table? And a lot of people tend to FOMO after they exit into just any level to continue riding the wave higher, and essentially they wind up smoking themselves in the process, which is not what you want to be doing. And over the years, I've learned this lesson dozens of times, so I've learned to scale out of positions. Okay. So we're going to go over a quick hypothetical situation this week that basically alludes to what I'm going to tell you, in the sense of how to feel like you're not leaving money on the table, and in practice secure yourself so that you don't leave money on the table, but don't expose yourself to extreme volatility or risk for no reason, which is what a lot of people tend to do, especially newer or more intermediate type of people that are just getting their feet wet, or just, not really starting out, but really have never dove deep into this type of system, a scaling out system. So we're going to take a hypothetical situation, trade here of 2 Bitcoin, okay? Let's say you got in around, down here, somewhere around 22 and a half, excuse me, okay? So for me, I don't like to, you may say that my risk is too tight, this, that, the third. Listen, I'd rather be wrong right away than expose myself to mega downside. That's just me. Over the years, I've learned, I want to be wrong right away. I don't want to expose myself to crazy risk. It's not worth it. There's always another trade. There's always another opportunity. We don't need to take on some insane amount of risk to make whatever. You know what I mean? So for me, if I'm in here 22 and a half, I'm going to give myself till about, 21 and a half, okay, to be wrong, which is $1,000 of risk. And I'm going to be looking for at least double that. I don't want to do a 1-to-1. Some people like that. Do whatever you want. But for me, I don't like doing that because I don't see the benefit of risking, there's no positive skew there. You can only be wrong so many times before you're done. And I'd like to make sure my winners outpace my losers. And if I'm wrong right away. So I'm entering a theoretically 2 Bitcoin, 22 and a half, 21 and a half stop. And obviously I'm looking for a 24 and a half exit, right? If I'm 2-to-1. So let's say, like we started to rotate higher, right? Now, once we get from 22 and a half to 23 and a half, right? We're about $1,000 in profit, halfway to our target. We're going to take this stop and we're going to rotate it up to break even. Okay, so we rotate that stop to break even once we get to about 23 and a half, or where we are theoretically right now. Okay, and now we're in profit of $1,000, and we have no risk outside of our fees that we paid to get in, because our stop is now at break even. So we're in profit. We're not leaving anything on the table. We didn't take profit yet, right? But we're not exposing ourselves to that $1,000 of financial risk anymore. Now we can safely move that stop to break even and just lose our fees, worst case, on the entry and exit. So that's how we would start this all off. Okay, so as we continue to rotate, okay, let's say we get, this is again all theoretical, we get to 24 and a half, right? Somewhere up here, 24 and a half. Okay, now we have 2 Bitcoin. We take 1 Bitcoin off the table there. Bang, 1 Bitcoin comes off. We have 1 Bitcoin still, that we're holding and riding for our, because we don't want to leave money on the table. Let's say it's continuing to move higher. We don't want to leave money on the table, so we're exiting half. We were looking originally for that 2,000 of profit, but we didn't. We were starting to notice based on delta, based on the amount of VWAP slope change that we were seeing, that this could move higher. I don't want to leave, take both off at 24 and a half and miss out on any potential upside. So, you start to see on signals that there's, telltale signs of a continued move probably happening in your favor. And instead of taking both coins off at 24 and a half like we wanted originally, we take half off. And then, we've already moved our stop once to break even once we got about $1,000 into profit. Now we can take that stop again, okay, and we can continue to rotate it higher. So we take it from break even to 23 and a half. Okay, so now we've moved it twice. We moved it from 21 and a half to break even once we got $1,000 in profit. We've taken half of our position off at 24 and a half, and we moved it $1,000 into profit. So now we're guaranteeing ourselves, worst case scenario, $1,000 of profit on the second half of that position. Okay, and we're still exposing ourselves to higher upside. So that's up to you. Wherever you want to take, the other portions of this profit's completely up to you. You could take the other half off at 25 and a half. Like I would shoot for NPOC at this point. It's probably going to get touched, right? So let's say we continue rotating. You got all the telltale signs there. Your stop's moved up to 23 and a half. You've taken half off at 24, and we're still rotating. Let's say we continue to rotate and we hit that NPOC at 25 and a half. Now, you can take off half of that one Bitcoin you have left. So now you take a half off there, okay, and you still have that half Bitcoin remaining. And what I would do again is I would take my stop from 23 and a half, move it to 24 and a half, okay, for that 0.5, because we exited 0.5 up here, right? Because again, we started with 2, we took half off at our original, theoretical profit zone of 24 and a half. We left that one Bitcoin on. We saw it hit 20, based on what we were looking at, is probably going to keep running. We take that half off at 25 or 25 and a half at MPOC, right? And we move our stop up another $1,000. Now, no matter what, you still have, you're guaranteeing yourself the exact number you wanted, no matter what. If this somehow, reverses course, it touches NPOC, decides it wants to drop because you see we have like a little wall developing here or whatever the case is. So no matter what, now you're guaranteeing yourself profit. Okay, you're in profit no matter what. You don't have to get out and then start chasing and skew your entries so that you're exposing yourself to undue risk for whatever reason. So now you have that half. You can take the whole thing off at 25 if you want, or you can just keep scaling out half at a time. I like to scale out half at a time because it gives you more opportunity to continue chasing higher without taking an insane amount of risk. So now we've moved our stop up again for the remaining 0.5 to 24 and a half. And let's say, hey, look, I'm going to let this one run. I'm going to let it run to the second NPOC, let's say, or you can try to, catch something up here, let it run to this NPOC. Now let's say it starts to really run, okay? We don't even attempt to take profit here, right? We think it's going to keep running to 27 and a half, which would be what, $5,000 profit from the original entry point to where we are there. At that point, you can take the rest off. You can scale half out again. Let's say you want to scale half out again because you think you're going to, hit 24 and a half, then 27 and a half, then 28 and a half. So you take off that half right here, you leave yourself with a quarter Bitcoin. Your stop was for that half at 24 and a half. Now we move it up to, let's say, where this former NPOC was, 25 and a half. So now you have a stop on for a quarter, and let's say you just take that final profit up here, all right, and let it run for the remainder. Whatever happens, happens. So now you've guaranteed yourself profit above and beyond what you were even looking for, worst case scenario, and you're letting it run. You don't have to run the risk of like, I got out of everything at this one level that I was looking for and it just kept running and running. And then you have to basically, most newer traders are going to FOMO back in at some level just to attempt to chase, and the chances are it's going to pull back on you, and you're going to have to deal with that. And it's not fun when you think it's going to keep going, you hop back in just because, and then you get run over right away, or within minutes or hours you get run over, right? So this is how you guys should continue to look at the scaling out of positions. Don't just throw everything in at one level if you think that it's going to continue to run higher and have to chase. Scale out. I would do half at a time, and I would continue to move that stop. Okay, so again, we started at 21 and a half, the original stop. Once we got $1,000 in profit, we went into break even. Okay, so we went from 21 and a half to 22 and a half entry. Once we got $1,000 in profit, once we hit our theoretical take profit, we noticed that it's going to keep running. You know, we thought it was going to keep running, so we exited half of those 2 Bitcoin at 24 and a half, moved the stop up to 23 and a half, let it keep running to NPOC, right? Let's say it hit NPOC, we took half off, moved the stop again to 24 and a half for the remaining half. Then we let it run higher, okay? And we just kept exiting half and rotating our stop up every time. Okay, so that's all it really comes down to, guys, so you don't feel like you're leaving money on the table. It's very simple. This is the simplest way you can take advantage of moves that, you know, may exceed what your original profit target was supposed to be without having to FOMO back in case you actually did wind up taking the profit all at one level. And the best part about this is that you moved your stop every step of the way with the market, so you're not exposing yourself to any unnecessary risk, guys. This is about as simple as I can make it, and I would practice doing this because the more comfortable you get with, like, you know, rotating your stops, scaling out, and ultimately, you know, taking profits above and beyond what you're looking for without chasing it, you're going to start to feel more comfortable. You're going to start to just naturally understand, okay, well, instead of me just looking from one exit, I have a half here, the other half here. If it keeps running, I can keep moving my stop up, 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 up. And I would just move, like, for every $1,000 of profit you continue to take, just keep rotating it higher. Because think about it. We started at 21. We went to break even. We went to 23 and a half. We put the rest in at 24. Then it hit 25 and kept going theoretically, right? So we moved the stop back up to where, you know, we originally took profits, right? Or excuse me, a little bit above where we originally wanted to take all of our profit. So we guaranteed ourselves money with no risk. And I don't want to say no risk, like, because obviously it could pull back on you and you'll get stopped out, but it's better than exposing yourself to, you know, just leaving it the stop like all the way down here and then ultimately getting it run at some point for no reason. So guys, that's really it. It's not complicated. This is just a quick little synopsis of how I scale out of trades. There's a million different ways you can do this, but this, I think, is the simplest. So give it a try. Let me know in the comments if you think that this is something that could work for you. If you try it and it does work for you, let me know. Make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, share the video with people, guys, if you think you know, somebody who's struggling with risk management needs to hear this type of stuff, so they get a little bit of an introduction to the channel and what we're all about. And if you haven't signed up for your subscription to Cignals yet, link is in the description, guys. You know, gonna keep saying it. It's less than an Ethereum gas fee a year. All of our clients are happy. You know, they tell us all the time how it's helped them improve their trading tremendously. So give it a try, guys. It's $19.99 a month for the basic package, which gives you access to pretty much everything we offer for the most part in terms of the symbols and you know, depth of market that we offer, and all the exchanges, time frames. And then if you want to go above and beyond that, we have the $79.99 package, which gives you access to our private discords, our private videos, advanced indicators, and a whole bunch of other stuff that are member perks for that price tier. And yeah, guys, we will most likely be doing a second video this week, so make sure you stay tuned and keep an eye out for it. Have a great day.